Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? So, let's go through the comments for a minute. So we've got D. Hi, D. How's everything going? Mark as well. Hi, Mark. Yorkshire Crafter. Hiya. Horlicks as well. Mark. Good evening, D. And Horlicks. And Yorkshire Crafter. And Yorkshire Crafter evening, Mark. And obviously, Kirsty is there. Yeah, so what's everyone getting up to this week? I haven't been getting up with a lot, to be fair, this week. I've done the Disney Dollhouse and the Dodge Charger. I think that's the only builds that I've done this week. I've got to order some more Alien and Robocop. I know I've got to do that. I haven't got round to that yet. Hoping to get round with that in a couple of weeks and then have both at the same time. Because what I was doing originally was doing it, you know, every couple of weeks, one of them, and then another couple of weeks doing the other one. But I think I might order them both together next month and have them like double come. Hi, Neil. But yeah, I mean, that's it. Obviously, the main talking point is still Eaglemoss, obviously. Dave as well. Hi, Dave. D. Evening, Mark. Horlicks again. So yeah, it's. I'm surprised that nothing official has come out. I know administrators were appointed on Thursday, so the administrators. I know who the administrators are. I think everyone knows, don't they? Who the administrators are. So I'm surprised that nothing's got said, but I would imagine something will get said before maybe the 27th or just after the 27th. That's what I'm expecting. Yeah, I'm just really surprised nothing's been said yet about what's going on. Because yes, there's a lot. There's a lot of people out there who want to know what's going on. But in terms of builds and stuff like that, I think it's safe to say. Also, as well as the sound, okay. Just before I carry on, sound seems to be okay. You can all hear me, okay? Is the sound okay? Have I gone quiet? I hope you can all hear me anyway. Yeah, look. Let's just get on to Dave for a second. I'm doing pack 100 of the Ferrari. I need to put the screws on the wheel. They came in pack 55. They are lost. Oh no, I've done that many times, and it's good because a lot of places give you extra screws, so you can sort of you accumulate a lot of screws. I've still got some screws actually of when I built the DeLorean and the Route Master. I do really need to get rid of some of the screws that I got, but I do feel for you, and I know exactly what that's like. Sounds good. Cool. Like I said, it's the workers I feel for. Look, yeah, when anything happens like this, it's the workers, the people that have put in, the blood, sweat, and tears. Their whole I know some people's whole careers have been at Eaglemoss, and the amazing people that they've got working there. It's a shame because a lot of them, there's a lot of talent there, and it's just gone. But I think it's safe to say Eaglemoss is gone. There's no more Eaglemoss no more. It's a shame. But if a company does come in and takes over the build, they'll have to retool it anyway. And retooling, I mean, not the part work part of it, not the build, but the magazines and all the packaging, because obviously all of that at the moment has all of Eaglemoss written all over it. So they'll have to do that. The latest issue, I think the latest Enterprise issue they had was issue 21. They haven't produced any issue past that, not at the factory anywhere. And I do believe the last pack or the last 2 packs of Ecto 1 have also not been produced. Everyone got up to that pack and then they were waiting because, the warehouse that makes these packs stopped making them in March. So I do believe even the warehouse that makes these have the files to make them, but haven't made them because obviously they need the money to make them, and it's them as well. You also got to think as well. It's the chain as well that not only with Eaglemoss going, it's the people that work in their warehouse on the call centers. They won't need as many people, even though they're all outsourced. It's all those people that get affected as well, and even right down to in China where they build the models as well. It's all of them you have to feel for too. Because they're going to have to lose jobs as well, because obviously they can't keep people on if there's not something happening. This is why I'm surprised that nothing's been said yet. Like I said, the administrators were appointed on Thursday. Obviously, I've seen all the rumours. I've seen Eaglemoss have been bought by Fanhome, D'Agostini, Agora, Fanhome. I've seen them all. We just have to wait and see. But like I said, if a company like that does come along, it's going to take, I would say, at least a month or 2 to get production back up. Then it takes, I didn't realise this, so to get something on a container ship from China to the UK, it takes 28 days. They're official figures. You can have a look at them online. I didn't realise. So as long as a warehouse has got it in China, they can ship it on a ship and ship it to us on a container ship, and it takes 28 days. So you've got to think it's going to take 3 months to set up the production and get enough going. Then it's going to take another month for parts to get here. I mean, that's already 4 months. So what are we in? We're at the end of July. So August, September, October, November. You look in December, maybe even January before we get parts, if that is the case, because you've got to think a lot of these companies who will buy this stuff are in the process of making money. So they will probably, they might not look at you and go, oh, you only need 2, because you've got to think a lot of people might be at the end or halfway through or whatever, but they'll want you to start right from the beginning, because, or even if they might turn around and go, oh, we're going to build it right from the beginning, you have the ability then to buy when they get up to that point. But once again, whoever comes in, it's a logistical nightmare. It's absolutely a logistical nightmare. But yeah, Neil, crystal clear, lovely. I booted them on with 3 different types. Yeah, you just got to budget sometimes. Sometimes that's even better, because I've found that if you've ever, if you go back, I was talking about Eaglemoss. Yeah, he's trying to fit a tire or a wheel onto his Ferrari using different screws. I've actually found sometimes that the screws that they suggest in the magazine aren't the right ones, and then if you use another screw, you tend to find, you know what I mean? You have to sometimes budget. You have to work with what goes well. Do we all know what Agora? I don't know. No, I would imagine that is the alien build. Because Hachette, obviously they're already bringing it out. I've got the leg here. So it's already out in France. It was tested here in the UK, and obviously there's a little bit of a partnership there. So I think it's the alien build. I can't see it being anything else really, unless it's the Batman statue. But I think it's the alien build personally. I don't know for certain. Hi Ian, nice t-shirt. Thank you. It's lovely. It's very comfortable. Even Mr. Campbell. Yeah, if you haven't checked out part work upgrades. If you're 2 issues behind, so eight stages on Ecto 1, check out Part Work Upgrades Facebook page, because Ian's done it. Ian's completed it, and it looks fantastic. It looks better, I think, than what the Eaglemoss version would have been like, if I could say that. And then you don't have to wait all this time to get it. You can get it now. There's a couple of options on Part Work Upgrades website as well for you to get it. So there's the free files that you can download and print it yourself. I think there's an unpainted one and a painted one, I think, isn't there, Ian? So there's loads of options there. And I mean, yeah, hands off to you, because I mean, that is, to get it out that quick as well, fantastic. But yeah, go and check Part Work Upgrades out, because Ian's well on the ball there, well on the ball. But yeah, I don't know if whoever comes along, like I said, whoever comes along will have to, like I said, retool it, and then try and get all the production back up and running. Whether they use all of what Eaglemoss had before, I don't know. It's yeah. Dave, evening in. Yep, correct, Kev. Good. But yeah, it's just a messy situation. It's just really, really messy. You know, I am going to. It's sort of. It's opened up a little bit for me, because I had sort of money put aside to maybe do another build. So I'm not too sure what there, but anyway, Fan Home have contacted me, and they've asked me to build the Knight Rider. So I've just got to sit here and wait for the parcels to arrive. So I'm going to actually maybe contact them this week just to find out what's going on and everything. But I've never watched Knight Rider. I was never a big fan of it. So I sort of done a little, just sort of a little reminder. So I watched a few episodes, and it's very cheesy. I've got to say, I was never a fan of Knight Rider, but I'll have a look at the car. It looks okay. It looks all right. Oh, Mr. Fusion's in the house. All right, Jason, how's it going? Nice to have you here. And Horlicks, Ian, Mark, D, and everyone. Hiya. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know what to do with my. I've got half of Ecto built. I think I've built up to issue 52, and the Enterprise I've got up to stages. I think it's stage 40, so I'm quite early on. You never know. You never know what's going to happen. Like I said, all I do know is that the administrators for sure were appointed on Thursday. I was surprised nothing went out on Friday, but I'm expecting something to be said by the 27th. Let's leave it at that. But Eaglemoss has effectively gone. Yeah, there is going to be no more Eaglemoss anymore. Yeah, it's not going to rise up from the ashes or anything like that. He's gone. It is sort of a burning wreck at the minute. It's unsalvageable in its current state. So I don't think Eaglemoss is ever going to come back like we had. We might end up getting a lot of these collections might get taken on by a lot of different companies. So you might have the DeLorean and Ecto 1 from Agora, and then the Enterprise from somewhere else, and the Willys Jeep from some. There's all these companies about. So you don't even. I mean, there is the certainty as well. That another company rise up from the ashes of this and come in. So, I mean, that could happen as well. There's a lot of unknowns at the minute in this, but I do feel for the staff because there are some amazingly talented people there. I would, they they should be snapped up. They hopefully they will. In fact, I know they will be snapped up by companies left, right, and centre because they're so talented. But it's just it's a crappy situation, isn't it? It's just something that I don't feel Eagle Moss wanted, and us as I never in a million years ever thought this would ever happen to a partwork company, and I think it was the shock of everything, and I think everyone was also in that sort of, oh my god, if it could happen to them, it can happen to anyone, and it can, and that's the fact of this. No company, I don't think, can guarantee anything. Eagle Moss did have that guarantee. Anything that we come out, we'll always complete. Hachette have that as well. But then this happens. So, Hachette could say, we guarantee to build whatever. Well, what about if you go out of business? It's, yeah. But my advice would be that if you've got money tied up with Eagle Moss, go any way you can to try and claw that back. Credit card companies, banks, PayPal, any way you paid, you've got money sitting there, you haven't received any parts, I'd get the ball rolling right now. I wouldn't wait with that, because I know a lot of people have said on the groups and that have said that they're going to wait until an official announcement, at which point I think it may be too late. Yeah, I'd get the ball rolling on that. Why they shut their online shop down for the Partworks? Yeah, they haven't. Their Partwork website is still up. It's weird, but it doesn't allow you to go any further than just to look. That could be because they might have paid for that domain a year in advance, if you know what I mean. So that would be up still. I mean, they could shut it down, but yeah, it's weird that it's still up. I found that strange as well. It's reassuring that it's still up, but what I've heard is, yeah, Eagle Moss is gone. The only good thing about that could come out of this now is a big company coming in, D'Agostini, Hachette maybe, coming in, buying all of that assets, and then it be under them, be under their umbrella, and then them starting up the builds from where we all left off. But there is, you've got to think any company that comes in is going to be in the business of making money. And this sort of production doesn't. It's found. It's we're talking hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of stock being made. Is it worth buying? I mean, buying it and all that sort of stuff. Buying the stock, and then you've got to, it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of patience, I think, from a lot of people. But I think by the time this is all sorted out, and I'm still 100% sure this will at some point get sorted. When the dust all settles, what is going to be left? Confidence has already gone in the community. People want to continue, and if they do continue, what will be left after? It's all like, it's just, yeah. Hulix, I saw the group someone get their money back through PayPal. There was a lot of hate comments saying it was theft unless they send all the issues back. What's your view on this? Normally, if you've got the goods, you can't get your money back. That's how I see that, because you've already paid for them and you've got them. So I would say if you've paid money to something you've not received, then you're entitled to that money back. That's how I see it. If you've paid for something and received it and then want your money back, that is I can see why people have done that. I wouldn't do it personally. I wouldn't. It's yeah. I just wouldn't do that. I wouldn't say it was theft, but you know, it's questionable, isn't it? It's yeah, yeah. I think you should get your money back on stuff you haven't got. So it's difficult for people that have paid, you know, the 6 months or the 12-month subscription for the enterprise, and they've received some of their stuff, but not all of it. I can see them claiming money back, maybe all of their money back, because they haven't had fulfillment of their whole thing. But yeah, I do think though, if you've bought something and received it and then asked for your money back and got it, yeah, that's down to the company authorizing that money back, isn't it? I don't think Eaglemoss would have gone, yeah, you can have the money back. They would have said, no, you've already received the goods. So yeah, I wouldn't do it, but it's questionable. But you know, I know why. I understand why people are doing that. Hiya, John. Eaglemoss own for the premium payment, but are the chances of getting that back? What are the chances getting that back? Premium payments. Is that the subscription payment? Like I said, I think anything that you've paid for and haven't received, you should put a claim in right now. Yeah, if you've paid 6 months or a month or whatever, and you've not received any parts, so you put in a claim straight away. I've seen people before this on other companies as well who have continuously paid and then said, I haven't received any parts for 6 months and I've paid for 6 months. I'm one of those people that you pay for something and you receive it before paying again. And I did that with Eaglemoss a few times with the enterprise build. So I paid and then they took another payment, which I then recalled back. I hadn't received the parts that I paid for originally. Once I received them, I then paid for the next parts. That was all fine. But yeah. But if you haven't received any parts for the payments you've made, make a claim right now, John. I would. I paid 144 for a year up front 34 weeks ago, hoping to get it back. I'm not too sure on that. It all depends on. I think it all depends on individual banks, doesn't it? Does that? But like I said, anything where you've paid and not received anything, claim it. Yeah, I can't stress this enough. Eaglemoss has got, unless a miracle happens and they turn up at Eaglemoss headquarters on Monday, and you know, a security van is parked outside, filled bottom to top with money. It ain't going to happen, I'm afraid. Unless one of them robs a bank, I don't think it's ever going to work out. They just owe too much money. They owe a ridiculous amount of money, and that in itself is it's not due to the models, though there were some issues that contributed to it. But the base of it comes down to bad management, and not only that, bad investment. They just invested really badly. Yeah, it just comes down mainly down to bad investment, but then that trickles down to bad management. So I don't think, like everyone would say, I've seen it already. I've seen it in lots of groups already saying, I wonder if it was because the enterprise build was so bad, or they had problems with delivery and stuff like that. No, there was they might have been contributed factors into it, but actually deep down, it was mismanagement and bad investment, and that's it. Fair enough. He got some stick. Oh, yeah, I can understand that. That was via PayPal. They are investigating. Tomorrow is the deadline. Well, hopefully you get something back. You know, if you haven't received anything for money you've paid, you should definitely get it back. Your money is always safer with credit cards. At the end of the day, what a lot of us are left with is a complete useless. You wouldn't pay 50% off something knowing you wouldn't get it the other half. No, but no one knew. Even the staff didn't know how bad it was until they sort of investigated themselves. You never know how bad a company's doing. Like you ask people who worked at Blockbusters, who worked at Woolworths, who worked at some of the other companies that have recently gone as well. You know, BHS and people like that. You tell the people that work on the tills and work in the warehouses whether they knew that their company was in the worst shape it has ever been in, and they were going to lose their job. I guarantee none of them would have said, "Yeah, we all knew." No one knew, and it's the same at Eaglemoss. All the decision making is done at the top. All the blame for this is for people at the top, not the people at the bottom, not the people in the call centers, not for the people that were dealing with the customer service side of it. They're the little people like your people that you go into the supermarket and you see. They're the people right at the very bottom, and they never knew. But I understand where you're coming from. You know, I would be rightfully so pissed off that we've got half-built things that we're at this stage are never going to be finished ever. And that's how we have to look at this at the moment. We have to look at it as, at the moment, this is gone. It's all gone. You know, no one's come along at the minute and bought it. No, no official statement has come out at this stage. We know nothing. All we know for certain is that Eaglemoss has filed for administration, and the administrators have been appointed. They are two facts that we know for certain. It's weird because when you go into administration, it allows you to basically what it does, it puts a stop on all the debt and all the debt collectors coming, everything else. It puts a stop on that, and it allows you to operate as normal. But they've got no money to operate as normal, so I don't know why. You know, there's a point here we've got to make it. We've got to sort of open that door and open that box. Is that the administrators might have gone in and gone, there's nothing here, and then just liquidate the whole company. Now, if that happens, I don't really know what happens to our build, because when it comes into liquidation, they sell off everything as quickly and as cheaply as possible to wind the company down. And then I don't know then what happens to our builds, because I don't know how it works differently in administration. You know, there's a time scale where they can sign off stuff and buy stuff and sort of bid on bits. But if it goes into liquidation, you know, it's sort of as quickly as possible. It's wound down as quickly as possible, especially if they've got no money, which I know they have got no money. So sometimes you just have to laugh, don't you, at this sort of thing. There's nothing more you can do at this stage. Is yeah, or you'll cry. Hang on, sorry. The way I see it, if you can't complete your build, then you deserve a refund and you'll return that you have so far. This is another thing. So if you return, who's going to take it back? There's no, effectively in a couple of weeks there will be no place, no build, no nothing. There's nothing. There's no warehouse. There's no call center. There's no nothing. As far as I know, they could be working out from their homes now. You know, I mean, where would you send it? And like I said, it all comes down to your individual. You know, if you think that you should get your money back fully, then go for it. That's what I say. But like I said, I always see it as if you've paid for something, even if it's only half, you still received what you paid for. So I think it's different. This is why it's a bit of a cloudy, murky sort of thing, because we're building something. It'd be different if it was, you know, sort of starships or something like that. where you were building a collection, but it's okay if it stops because you've got your cool ships. You're not building something that connects into something bigger like we are. It'd be a bit like, I suppose, building Lego, opening the boxes and finding out that you've paid for the bottom half of a build, but not the top. I get that. So yeah, that's another thing as well. I don't know how. I know with certain companies like credit cards and PayPal, I know that they will just pay you it back if you're entitled to it, and so. But it's interesting because who would pay back that money? I mean, they're in so much debt. You know, we're talking 40 plus million in the red, right? I mean, who? I mean, you are at the bottom of the longest list ever. Yeah, I mean, you know, you've got a bank loan that they had that it's all online. You can always find it out that they've defaulted on, which was a £10 million loan from Santander. So that's got to be at the top somewhere, isn't it? It's got to be. And you are right at the very, 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 very bottom. That's just the case of it, I'm afraid. I appreciate that. That's okay. I'm trying to be I'm trying to tell you what I know. The enjoyment I got was worth the money. Yeah, I think, you know, we've all been there, haven't we, Mark? We've all been there where we've swore blood, sweat, and tears over a build, and then once they're built, you know, we've been building them and then we've gone, this bit was awful. This should have been done better. But then once it is fully built, you sort of step back and go, actually, that was fun. I loved that build. But yeah, you know, I think, you know, even with it, I'm still quite proud that I've built half the saucer of the Enterprise, and it still looks quite good. And obviously, I've built the base parts and the engine parts of my DeLorean, which still look good, and I still get enjoyment out of that. It's like I said, it's just not a DeLorean, the Ecto-1. Sorry, yeah, well done. The Ecto-1. And I still got enjoyment out of that, and I still paid for the parts that I received. So in theory, you know, I can see it's like I said, it's a bit cloudy. It's a bit cloudy. I know some of people I know, friends and that, would say that I was right in, you know, I'll be right to ask for my money back from something that isn't going to be clear. It's worth noting, though, we don't know at this point whether it's going to start up again or not. We just don't know. So that's why we just have to sit tight. But the longer we leave it to sort out money wise, like Eaglemoss have gone. If you've got money tied up in Eaglemoss, you haven't received your items, put in a claim. That's it. That's all I got to say on that matter. Being positive, I have bought a 3D printer, print off the part where upgrades to complete the car. Nice one. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you know, get yourself over to Partwork Upgrades to finish off that. I mean, thanks, John. We have a few of the fortunate ones that got far enough along to be able to do that. Yep. And I see there was another thing as well. I've got to say as well about Eaglemoss, and we'll get onto it in just a minute. I would be surprised subscribers would get their money back. Creditors, loans, salaries first, I would say, from Eaglemoss. Sad to see it, though. Yep. You're at the bottom of a very, very long list. Yeah, I want to touch up on this point. And I've seen it in quite a lot of groups now over the last couple of weeks, really, since we found out. Was, do you think, and I want to put it out to you guys as well, do you think that because Eaglemoss has gone bust, that anything that Eaglemoss made before would increase in money? So I'm just going to put that out there a minute. Yes, much appreciated, Ian. Yeah. I mean, you've done a disservice to everyone. I mean, it's just brilliant what you've done. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. So, do you think, because Eaglemoss has gone bust, so we're talking really about the books that they did, the Marvel figures, the Alien figures, the Star Trek ships, the Doctor Who stuff, even the DeLoreans that are built already. that done it first time around, like myself. Now, and obviously, I think there was a DB5 as well that was done previously. Now, do you think these will increase in price? Now, for me, I can only talk about the Star Trek side because that's the side I collected. And I've got to say is no. I've already seen it on eBay. Prices have gone stupid. But the market was flooded. The market was already flooded with Star Trek ships. I mean, you could have gone. I went to a convention last Sunday, and I saw some Star Trek ships there. They were priced at £5. I mean, they're $16.99 just before they went under. They were $10.99 when you bought them out. I've been to lots of big conventions where they were selling off some of the models for £5 or £10. The ones that were costing £30 or £40. And if you look on eBay, it's just flooded with them. I've even seen them in charity shops and stuff like that. I personally think the market is flooded with Eaglemoss products already. So just because it's gone under doesn't necessarily mean it's worth more money, especially if another company comes up and buys it up. It's also worth noting, obviously I collect my wrestling belts here and those ones over here. And my like a lot of people will get these belts signed by the wrestlers that held them, and it's a bit of a topic in the groups as well. So, do I think that stuff signed by Pacific people increases its value? No, that's my opinion. I know a lot of people that get signed stuff and then try and sell it for more, like normally twice as much as it already is worth. It's only an interest if you like that character. But then again, when you get stuff signed, if I ever got a belt signed, I would have to be there for it to be signed by someone. And it's the same with the Star Trek ships. I've got the whole collection. I've got loads, but the market was already flooded. So I don't expect there to be a sort. It's strange as well because I think sometimes there's been a bit of a spike in demand. So no, everyone was sort of like, oh, it's another ship from Eaglemoss. And now they've gone under. People are like, oh my God, I've got to get it. And it's like, that might push it up. But yeah, I doubt it. Complete models ain't worth the money you invested. It's how many times have we said this, Jay? Jeez, we've said this many, many times. And people are a bit shocked when you say, I've seen lots of posts as well where people say they put it down and they put like £1,500 or something like that. And at the end of the day, it's only worth what someone's willing to pay. But then when you say to him, I think the Terminator was a perfect example of that. I see someone selling one for £300 when it just after it completed, and someone else trying to sell it for £1,500. Yeah, there is no value in them, and it's the same for a lot of the models that Eaglemoss did. They flooded the market with them, and yeah, there's just no value there. So it is more of a love, definitely. I would hope any other part of the company will be sympathetic to the situation and hopefully give the folks the option to continue, as it's still money for them. Yeah, you would hope so. But some of the things that I've heard, yeah, you would hope so. And as a community, we would hope so too. But I think I've said it to you as well, Ian, haven't I? I said it a few times that they're in the business of making money, and would they make enough money producing those sort of parts, just those parts, for so many people? I don't know. I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. Next couple of months is going to be very interesting. I was thinking it's my completed is worth more. I was debating selling mine about 4 weeks ago to make way for new projects. Yeah. I was like I said, I thought I'd ask you guys because the market was already flooded already. There isn't real value in Partworks generally. So I think that's mainly down to shipping, really, because I think if you could ship it anywhere and it not be damaged or not cost the earth, I think that you could sell a part work very easily, and then that would increase its value. But because, you know, it's if I was sending something from where I live down in Hertfordshire to Scotland, and say I was sending the Terminator, one, it'd probably reach to you in pieces, and two, it'd probably cost more than what I'd sell it for in shipping. So yeah. But yeah, Jay's had to sell some of his models to make way for stuff, so I get it. Just got a reboot. Okay. There might be a spike driven by demand that usually settles. Yeah. But like I said, I can talk for the Star Trek stuff because I was very heavily into that, and the market was already flooded already, and Eaglemoss had overstock of it. That's why they were selling just before all of the collapse happened. They were actually selling a lot of their models off for like £10, which normally costs 40. Also, as well, Eaglemoss were very, very bad, I've got to say, at devaluing their own stuff. So, as a subscriber, if you subscribe to, say, the Star Trek Discovery collection, you were paying, I think it was £25 per model. And now, when these models come out on Eaglemoss's website, they went for £25. And then a couple of weeks later, they were in a sale, and they would go in for like 15 or 20. So they already devalued them, and subscribers were already paying more than what they were worth on their website. So I didn't subscribe to it. I was, subscribers were rightly so pissed off because they were paying more than if they bought it from a web shop or another shop like Forbidden Planet. So, but you're right. I think there is a bit of a spike at the minute because it's gone under, and you're right. It might settle down. In fact, I probably know it will settle down. I might be bonkers. Just been glossing and wallpapering to get the flat finished. Oh no, it's quite warm still, Jay. It's very warm out. It's been very windy this afternoon, hasn't it? It's been very, very windy, but it's sort of calmed down a bit now. But no, I just wanted to ask it because I didn't think that there would be a spike in it. I didn't think that there would your collection would increase because a company has collapsed. I don't think if you bought say a top or a mug that said Woolworths, would that have increased in price? I very much doubt it. So the flat is a sweatbox. Oh, I bet it is, especially being at the top. But yeah, I just don't. I just don't think it's gonna. I've seen a lot of posts. That's why I thought I'd ask, because I've seen quite a lot of posts. People saying, "Do you think it will be increasing value? Do you think this?" I've also seen a lot of people putting their part built models on as well. I would say to that is to wait, because we don't know what's going on yet. And even now, if you put it on there, I don't know who's buying these to be half built. I don't know. Maybe it's people trying to claw back a bit of money. It's interesting, very interesting. Someone is selling the Renault 4 in France, cost €900, selling for 150 euros. Yep, there's no value to Partworks anyway. It's a hobby for love, and that's it. You love building it, you love making it, you love displaying it. That is it. Do not do artworks of any kind, and I mean this, of any kind, even like Doctor Who figures or the Star Trek figure or anything like that. Don't. The value isn't there. The value is there because you love it at the start. Do not think that in a couple of years it's going to turn into mega bucks, because I think now with the rise of so many partwork companies out there, and then bringing back a lot of the older partworks, it makes it less value, doesn't it? So yeah, I've seen it. It's crazy. Walking Dead comic issue 1 had a low print and a low subscription when released. Now worth a few pence because of the popular demand. Not sure Eaglemoss model will equal to that formula. Yeah. Yeah, I know they did the Walking Dead figures, and they didn't do a lot of them. But once again, like I said, I think they were something that they did that not a lot of people wanted, but are sort of crying out for now. I find that with the Alien and the Predator line that they did, the Alien and Predator line that they did for the figurines sort of thing. I don't think there was high demand for them when they first come out, but demand has spiked sort of within the last year or so with a lot of the Alien stuff. I think it's because you've got the new Predator film coming out called Prey, and you've also got Disney or Fox working on an Alien series. So, and then we've had the video games as well. We've had Team Elite, haven't we? And that. So I'm wondering whether that has provokes spike. I'm very surprised that a company hasn't come along actually for the Star Trek stuff, because they were always pumping out ships, and because Star Trek ships sell very well, and because the series is still going, that's a money maker there. In fact, I guarantee that the Doctor Who and the Star Trek were, well, I actually know this for a fact, they were massive money makers for Eaglemoss. In fact, they done so well on those collections, they were able to do other stuff. I know that as fact because Ben Robinson, the guy who made all of this possible, the start, he was the head of the division for hero collectors. He wasn't the high guy. He was the guy saying we could do this, we could do that. He actually said in an interview that that the popularity of Eaglemoss as a whole and how and their ability to go into other sci-fi genres all started from when they started doing the Star Trek and the Doctor Who. So there's massive money there to be made. So I'm surprised that it's not someone hasn't come along really and sort of gone, let's take that. We'll do that. Put it 10 issues of DeLorean I had spare up for £10 each. They all went very quick. I was having a sorts of high offers. One guy offered me $100 per issue. Wow. Well, did you take them? That's a lot of money, yeah. Oh, right, okay. Crazy. The Citroen 2CV I'm building, it came out 6 years ago, cost $750 to build. Now, yeah, that's another thing as well. That is the if you want to know what inflation is, Jay's just explained it. So yeah, the 6 years difference as well as inflation, you can see the difference in the sort of model. I'm going to leave that up because yeah, that's what happens. That's also down to cost of materials as well. Things like plastic has gone ridiculously through the roof. I know that much. It's gone very pricey everywhere at the minute. So maybe that was a factor, but I know their main problem, Eaglemoss, with money was just bad investment, bad management, bad investment. But all the other guys underneath, the guys that sorted out the magazines, that sorted out and sourced all the information, who went even down to building and rendering these models, some talented people there that have gone and are hoping that an industry in the industry that we're in, or even in a sort of the TV industry, someone snaps them up because they're so talented. And they've got, like Mark said, they've got kids, mortgages. It's a worrying time at the minute, a worrying time, but a sort of exciting one as well, because things might end up being better and brighter for them. So you never know. You never know. I wonder, after the EMOS event, any part company will be offering more full kits to ensure that they stay in business and give us that comfort and assurance you'll be able to finish a build. Yeah, I mean, it works for Agora, and D'Agostini is another one that offers full builds. Hachette have never done that. In fact, Hachette, once, if you've ever built anything from Hachette, you will know that once they finish it, they sort of go and sort of wash their hands of it. And it's always the good folks over at Agora who have always got it. So it was one of my things as well. I used to say it quite a bit. I've said it on many times as well on here, that if you're building a model from Agora, from Hachette, sorry. So if you're building a model from a Hachette, or build it, you have to build it straight away, because years ago, once the build finished for Hachette, they sort of just went and washed their hands of it, and it never came out ever again. It dismal into the light. But obviously, Agora have come along and gone, well, we can offer that, and we'll offer it all the time. So it gives us that sort of that other reassurance as well. I think I'd say that as like many, I'm sure, I'm putting my hand in my pocket at the moment. Yes. Yeah, we had a discussion about that. I'm not, like I said, I'm doing the Knight Rider. I've been asked from Fan Home to do that, so they are sending me that. But you know, my Alien Robocop at the moment, I don't really know what I'm going to. Well, in fact, I don't really want. I want to try and sort of branch out into other genres. If you watch my channel, you know my channel. I sort of do a bit of everything, really. You know, Star Trek, sci-fi, gaming, action figure reviews. I'm starting to slowly get back up to. I would love to do a full build. I would love that. It to come in one delivery, and then I can go through it on my channel at my leisure. Yeah, yeah. I'm wondering. Yeah, like you, Ian. Like a lot of people, I think, are in the same boat. Are like, maybe I need to build something that I can get everything for at once, and then concentrate instead of getting maybe even doing the 6 month sort of or they do a 12-month subscription, don't they, a year. I might even be tempted to do that, but then again, it comes down to money, doesn't it? It always comes to money. And I know a lot of people do these and do the weekly ones. I love getting from Hachette because you can pick up in the newsagents. It's, you know, it's 10, 11 quid every week. It's nothing. It's nothing to me. You know, I'm quite happy to do that, and I love doing it. You get a little bit every week. It builds up, and I love doing that. Having all of it at once, I would love that too. But then you would have to fork out the full amount, and I know a lot of people can't. You know, if you go into any of the forums or any of the part work groups, you will know that the first thing they moan about, the first thing any part work moans about, I can guarantee it. Number one thing before you even say it is, I can't believe it costs 1,000 to finish. Is, you know, oh, I can't believe it takes 2 years. And my argument there is, I wonder how much money you spend on, you know, cigarettes and alcohol and all that sort of stuff. If you tallied it down just like that, when a part work comes out, you'll probably be a bit surprised. But yeah, I'm building Knight Rider soon, only because I have the confidence in Fan Home. Yep, I'm waiting for my first box to arrive, and then we'll see how it all goes from there. I'm hoping it's a good one. It looks good. Once the Eddie Stobart and Citroen 2CV is done, I'm just concentrating on the Dollhouse to the end. Yeah, we're doing the Dollhouse. I've got the Dodge Charger, the Alien, and the Robocop. But there's apart from Optimus Prime. Now, if they do bring out Optimus Prime, I'll be getting that 100%. But then there's nothing really. I mean, I was interested in the Tumbler, but I don't know at the minute. I need to know what's going on, because if you say, even if Hachette do bring out these builds, or Fan Home, lots of people are going to try doing them again, and there may be a bit of a rush. We are at the moment in, you know, a cost of living crisis and squeeze. You know, prices are going to go up again. I can't even believe this, right? Again, the thing that annoys me about that, I just want to go off topic. The thing that annoys me about that is you've got these companies like Ofgem that are supposed to be on the consumer side, and they were banded and built so customers didn't pay too much money. Well, it's not working, is it? That's all I'm going to say on that. But it means over the next sort of 6 months, a year, finances for everyone, not just some people, everyone is going to be massively affected. And the first thing, as anyone ever knows, the first thing that goes when you when when you're tight on money, it's the hobbies go. That's it. It's just the way it is. It just has to be. It has to be that way. You know, it's what is it? It's that word that they use. What is it? Disposable. That's it. It's disposable income that you use on hobbies. And if you haven't got disposable income or it's tight, it gets swathed away. So I'm wondering whether a lot of companies might sort of reevaluate. It's going to be look over the next 6 months. It's going to be so interesting. I'm hoping good things come. That's what I'm hoping. Unless a quick French car comes along with takes my budget. Yeah. Oh, I know you and your French cars, Jay. But look, I'm going to wrap it up there. What we've got out this week, we've got. I'm going to start my gaming videos up again. I haven't done them for 2 weeks, so I'm going to start live streaming again this week. We've got Disney Dollhouse, obviously, the Dodge Charger, and I think I've got RoboCop somewhere on the list. Wednesday's my birthday, so I am going to be stuffing myself with cake and drink. So yeah, I won't get much done on the Wednesday. So the Disney Dollhouse will have to wait unless it comes out on Tuesday. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm going to do a Wednesday gaming stream. We're going to see how that goes. I've got some ideas. So night, Kev. Thanks and see you soon. Some of you in a mo over at DM. Yep. The RoboCop is worth getting from a set or waiting for it to come fan home. Good. Mix this on. Do you know what's happening with? Oh, okay. With the gauntlet. So if you didn't know, this was out about 3 months ago. D'Agostini put it out. They said, I know. I said I was going to go, and then a question pops up. So yes, issues 1 and 2 got out. Subscribers got them. Then there was a torrent of complaints about the quality of the gem and the finish on the hand itself. And then D'Agostini pulled it. They said, okay, we'll fix it. And they've pulled it. Apparently, subscribers should start receiving issue 1 and 2 again in August, but we're not entirely sure yet of what's happening. It is still scheduled to come out, but we don't really know. So, and thank you very much, John. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time. I'm doing them over the summer holidays every 2 weeks, fortnightly. So I'll be back to doing live stream 2 weeks' time. Don't worry, there's going to be stuff on the channel to whet your taste buds and everything else. And obviously, if any information gets officially announced from Eaglemoss, I will then post it and do a video on my channel. But once again, thank you guys for coming along. It's been a great time, as always. Keep safe, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. And until then, enjoy, and I'll see you then. See you later.